Good morning. It is the early morning hours, very early morning hours, overnight hours, let's call it, of the 5th of May, 2022. And we're looking at I.C.B.M. And this is the second video for the week, namely because of this game, because I don't want to wait to get to it and look at it, and we'll look at it together. The game, I've been looking for this game for a good while, and there's either two things. It's either in a condition that I didn't think I wanted it in, or it was just, it was more than I wanted to pay for it, right? So, Sunday, I believe it was Sunday evening, this past Sunday evening, I get a message from Dave at the Centurion's Review, and Dave says, "Hey, this game." I said I was looking for it or something to that effect, and he had a copy, and so he said there's a copy on eBay for $19.99 plus shipping, and I was working at the time, and I got the message, and I looked at it, and I said okay. And walked away from. I was talking to some boys I work with. Walked away and sat down and started and bought it right there. And they thought there was a problem. They said, "What's the problem?" I said, "No problem. This is personal." Then it started getting to where that I might be having a problem in a home life or whatever, because I just dropped what I was doing. But it was for this game, and I think thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. 1,000,000%, because I have been looking at this for a long time, and again, it was either just too expensive or it wasn't in the condition that I wanted it in. So, and I did not have a search done in eBay, namely because if I search everything I want in eBay, put the search parameters up in eBay, I'll be spending way too much money, and I will be having family problems, home problems with the wife. But I think most of us can, most of y'all can relate to that. So let's look at it, right? So look at that art, that cover art. That's just always. I don't know who the artist was on this, but I believe he looks like he may have done all those early Mayfair games. This is early Mayfair game, 1981. Neil Zimmerer is the designer who did a bunch of those games back then, and there's a couple games of his I really liked. That Yaquinto game, that zombie game, Attack of the Mutants, maybe. That was a game that was a good that I liked. Let me put it that way. Then he did Naval War too, if I'm not mistaken. So he's done some really good games in his career. Let's look at the back. We got Mayfair Games. A lot of people don't really realize this. By the way, I'm going to take my time with this because I'm just so excited to have it. A lot of people don't realize that Mayfair Games really did start off as a wargaming company, and these were some of their first games. You see back here, the games here. We'll look at and then a sticker. All right, look at that. The complete strategist, $5, and according to the mailing list, that's the correct price. So this is that's what it was on the counter for. Just a pro tip for any collectors, that right there gives, anytime you see a stick, I know a lot of people like to take them off and get their stuff clean, because most of us that collect things are, we want it as pristine looking as we can, but that would give a game like this some sort of provenance, right? And the history behind that is worth leaving it on there. Although it's probably on the front, this has been probably turned, the bag's probably been turned around, and well, obviously, and the bag is correct for the early Mayfair micro games with that red stripe on the cross. So I would say that's definitely original. Let's look inside here. Be careful with it. I would like to keep it unpunched if I can. And counters from somewhere. Get some counters, even if I have to make them myself. Right, so here we go. I.C.B.M. Look at that. Look at that art. Love that art. I just always loved that. Uncle Sam and the Russian bear going at it. Uncle Sam using those I.C.B.Ms as knives or bowie knives or spears maybe to fight the Russian bear. So that's just very cool. Mayfair Games old logo. Mayfair Games, you know, like I said, they was known the last few years. They were known for, for the last several years, they were known more for Euros, right? They were I guess they were the first American company that had the rights to circulate Catan, right? But they started out with war games back in the day, pretty much. And I do, as of 2017, 2018 maybe, they are no longer in business, which is kind of a shame. But they've had some good games. All right, cool. Book. Some Mayfair Games old address in Chicago, Illinois. Illinois. I call it Illinois because, you know, that's the way I talk. But I know the right pronunciation. All right. Counters. Ooh, wait a minute. I'm not going to be careful with these counters. They're not in a sprue, so they're just kind of naked counters. So it's blue 4 and op 4, look like. Okay. I don't think they're double-sided, but they are colored on the back side. Let's look at this ad from, I thought it was paper. It's more of a cardstock. Let's see. This is Mayfair Games. This is their, I love these here. Richard the Lionheart. Richard battles for Normandy and France. Okay, that's, there's a lot of games on Richard the First, right? Yeah, most of them that I've played take place in little scenarios or whatever, or games. Like the Columbia game, the block game, Theodore Rex. That's a book about Teddy Roosevelt. Crusader Rex is obviously about the Third Crusade, which, you know, we get a lot of our lore of the Crusader, the not Crusader out of that crusade, out of the Third Crusade. So yeah, that's kind of cool, though. You're dealing with it after he returns from the crusade, and with his brother John, them retaking Normandy, and then their battles with, who was it? Philip in France. So so I would like to play that. That's a neat concept. Space Empire. That's a good game. I have played that. I don't have it, but I've played it. I.C.B.M. That's this one here. I've never played it, but I do own it now. The Castle. I think I have that. Very light game, if I remember. Kind of a dungeon crawl type game. And then Transylvania, which I don't have, and I have not played, but interested in it. It looks interesting. Of course, any vampire game would, for me. And so there they go. The Castle was $5. I.C.B.M. This was $5. Do we see on the price tag, Richard? It's interesting. Transylvania is the cheapest one. It's $3. I wonder what the rationale behind that being cheapest was. All right, now let's look at. I want to check out the map, but I don't want to. There we go. Put those counters right over there. I want to check out the map here before I look at the book. So you may hear my dog scratching on the carpet. Mateo, no rascas de la alfombra, acostaste, hijo. All right, so the map. North America here, most of North America, missing some partial, but it's the United States, Canada, Alaska here. All right, kind of cool. Missile activation. I.C.B.M range. Okay. Very cool. Mateo. Over here, we got lots of dog. Over here we got the USSR. Part of it at least. And most of it. And same here. So, yeah, you got two of them. Okay. All right. I do. Well, I understand it, I believe. I like the map, actually. I don't. For a micro game from 1981, that map, I like the hex layout. I like it. It doesn't, I like the map. That's one thing I did not expect to like. But I do like the map. It's not wanting to lay, but what can you say about that? All right, so table of contents. You got introduction. Let's check that out. I.C.B.M is a quick playable game representing possible thermonuclear exchange between the USA and the USSR. Playing pieces represent the actual missiles in the US and Soviet arsenals. Each player launches his missiles at his opponent's country while trying to defend himself with anti-ballistic missile system. Right. Game equipment. We've seen the game equipment, the counters. How do you read them? Type of missile, duration, strength factor, movement factor, and silhouette. Okay. I.C.B.M side counter, silhouette, and site designation. Okay. Preparations for play. Starting the war. Okay, let's look at that. An experienced player should roll a die to determine who launches his missiles first. Okay. The higher roll goes first, and the other player receives 10 victory points. Ooh. Yeah, might be. I'm assuming that's a mechanic to balance it, because the player that goes first is going to get the man. He's going to have an advantage. First strike, right? More experienced players may wish to bid for the first launch. Both players write down the number of victory points they would be willing to award their opponent in order to move first. Okay, that's a cool mechanic. The higher number launches. Yeah, it's a balancing mechanic. Sequence of play. The high roller, winning bidder, begins game by making the first launch. After the first player has launched and moved his missiles, the players continue launching and moving missiles alternately. The game ends when there are no missiles in the air and neither player can or wishes to launch anymore. The launching player rolls 1/6 set of die and consults the missile activation chart to determine the number of missiles activated. Or on only the first turn, the USSR may launch 14 missiles, and the US player may launch 12 missiles without consulting the mission activation chart. Okay. The launching player may flip up missile counters up to the number of missiles shown on the missile activation chart. All of the missiles in a base must be activated at the same time. Missiles in an activated missile base that cannot be activated are lost, and their counters are removed from the map. The launching player need not to activate all missiles indicated on the chart, but may not accumulate the right to activate from one turn to another. Activated missiles consider. Wow. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. It's going to be missile movement, I.C.B.Ms, the anti-ballistic missile, missile impact, and victory conditions. Wow. Let's look at some of the victory conditions. A player scores points for the following: start and second, 10 points. Okay, that sounds great. For each surviving unactivated missile, 1 victory point. For each I.C.B.M round built, -2 victory points per round. For each opposing city point reduced, 1 victory point. Victory is scored in levels based on differential of victory points scored by players. Whoever scores more victory points is the winner. Below are the various scales of victory: decisive, 30 plus, substantial, 20, marginal, and draw. Some interesting twists. These ideas may be considered as optional rules, but have not been play tested. Okay, I always love that kind of crap. They are variants designed to add more enjoyment to the experienced players that have already mastered the basic rules. Players may choose to place missiles in neutral countries. Players must allocate control of various neutrals by agreement. Okay. Players may have hidden set of I.C.B.M sites. I.C.B.M site counters are not placed on the map until a round is launched from the site. All right, that's cool. The historical variant. The U.S. has 2 I.C.B.M rounds. The USSR receives 20 I.C.B.M rounds. Right. The USSR launches first, and there is no victory point differential due to either first launch or I.C.B.M rounds built. Okay. Credit Neil Zimmerer, absolutely. Concept Ken Kaufman. Cover art Darch Clampett, and playtesters Mayfair Wargamers. Cool. So that's about it. I don't want to thank you for bearing with me and looking at this game, one of these games that I've wanted, and I hope to get around playing it at some point. There's those counters. Those counters not in the sprue, just they're kind of, I guess they're kind of thin, but they're about what you expect from, micro game from '81, right? All right, folks. Thanks for indulging me here, and thank you, Dave. Appreciate it much appreciate. You have no idea. I owe you one. So, I'm indebted to you, sir. All right. Y'all have a great day. Talk to you soon. Be careful out there. Who knows? Something else might happen, and I'll have another video this week. Have 3 in a week. Could you imagine? That'd be shocking. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.